What is going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. We have another statue today. Now this is by Inner Studio. So they, as far as I can tell, they've kind of been around for what feels like to me about 8 months. I'm sure it's a lot longer than that, but that's when they came on my radar. But they more or less do custom silicone busts. I believe they do sex dolls. They do, I think, recasts. And then they also just sell legit products. Like I got my Infinity Shoe as Wonder Woman from them. So they sell a whole host of stuff. Bruce Way is the guy I speak to. I think he's the owner. Great guy. But he sold me this. This is their Black Widow life-size bust. Now they have done 2 Black Widow life-size busts. The first one I was not a fan of. I didn't think it looked like Scarlet. That one had like a silicone boobies and I don't know. I just wasn't a fan. This one was more like 3D printed silicone head. I thought the likeness was far better, the costume was better, the base was better, and it looked much better in my opinion. There's only 2 in the world. Mine and one other who has more of an Avengers 2 styled hair. And I did mine the Black Widow movie style. This was not cheap because it's not mass produced. You know, it's not like they made 100 of them, they made 2. Although they said they are willing to make more, like they'll do a run of 10 if they could get 10 people to buy this. So, if you guys are interested in buying, contact Bruce Way or Inner Studios. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to get this particular bust. Let's see what we got here, though. Real curious on how this is going to look in person. I've not seen one of their actual products in person. So, don't know exactly what I'm getting myself into. But this is what we're greeted with. The bust is not very heavy, like the box is not super heavy at all. We'll want to take this down and just do a traditional unboxing though. Alrighty folks, so let's see what we got. So the base is extremely light. And it's definitely 3D printed. Nothing on the bottom. It looks 3D printed to me. They should have cast this in resin. So I'll say immediately the base is disappointing. Because it's just 3D printed. Which makes me believe the whole body will be disappointed if it's the exact same. Or if every part is like that. I'm not a fan of just 3D printed stuff. I feel like you can make the initial prototype in 3D, but then you need to actually cast it in resin. Because 3D printed, you can see the 3D lines. Alright, so this is part of the gun. Here's more part of the gun. All right, let's get the main bust out now. Let's get a look at that portrait. Definitely a very small bust. It kind of feels like KD Vegeta. Now I do know Scarlett Johansson is about, I think, 5'3". Now technically, you could display her without arms. You could just wear it just like this. Let's remove where the frick does this come off? I don't know where this ends and begins. seems to be getting it. Okay. And it looks like she's wearing some sort of hairnet mask. That's the hairnet. And then here is the hair, which has lots of, no, I just watched this movie last night, so there's a few different ways I can kind of do her hair. Let's go ahead and put these in. Alrighty, so that can kind of be one way you could display her, like so. Interesting. It's interesting they kept this on here because it's magnetized. Why not just remove it? I don't understand why they taped that there. Let's get a look at that. I mean, it does kind of look a little weird without the arms, if I'm honest. But this at least allows us to view like the chest area. Because originally when they came out with this, they did a different costume. Then they changed it, but they did a lot of weird stuff. They painted it weird. You know, they had this painted silver. The silicone's quite dirty here at the neck area. And I'm going to need to fix some of their hair. Now, I asked them to put earrings in the left ear. And I said just the left, and they did it in both ears, and they did it entirely wrong. So that's quite annoying. There's definitely some like QC issues you can see immediately, like, you know, right there. That should be black, not the color of the bullet. You can see that looks a little silver, so they didn't paint that perfectly good. In addition, this is kind of, is that supposed to be like that, where it stops silver and then it's black? I'm curious on, yeah, the silicone, it is softer. I think the likeness is pretty decent. You know, I know some people are complaining about it. I need to fix the hair. It's kind of a mess right now. But I do see scarlet in there. It's definitely not Queen's level of detail. Let's see. Yeah, they put holes through the ears. Yeah, I didn't want them doing earrings on this side. So if I remove those earrings, it's going to be a hole in the ear, which I did not ask them to do that. So that's disappointing because she only had earrings in that ear and a lot more. So frankly, I'm wondering if they even looked at the movie while they did this. The hair is good. It's a little too long. Her hair went to about right there. These braids, those ones, are too long. They shouldn't be that long. I need to display it next to Alita to see how it scales with other females, plus my other female busts. And I really need to fix that hair. It's bugging me. So let's get the other arms out as well. And then we can fix it up and make it look all fancy and clean the silicone that's there. Now, they did not do silicone fingers. I asked them to, and they said they couldn't. I call BS, but definitely not painted super good. Like, that's a sloppy paint job, if I'm honest. I'm being brutally honest on this video because I paid full price. I did not get any type of discounts or anything. So I need to tell you guys how it is, if I recommend them or not. Alright, so the gun slid in pretty smooth. There is a tiny bit of a seam line. I think they could just made this hole. You know, but that is the gun. It's a, you know, life-size gun. Another area that was kind of annoying is they did the whole wrist things wrong. I wanted them to change it, but they couldn't. But this is inaccurate. They made it look like bullets, and it covers the entire wrist. In the movie, it's only like there's none of this, and it doesn't look like bullets. It's just square because it's not bullets she's holding. It's her wrist gauntlets that like shoots electricity and has different features. So yeah, I'll say that in general, that is a miss in my opinion. Unfortunately, it's already attached, so it's not like I can remove it. Because I had even asked it if I could remove it and then I'll just install my own. Because you could buy a licensed version that actually is accurate. Alrighty. So this gun arm is going to go here. I swore it's like this. Alright, and here is the other arm. You can already see a scuff mark there from when they had that in there originally. They should have just glued it in. The hands aren't going in perfectly smooth. Yeah, I can kind of understand now, you know, this should just be permanently attached to this arm. Otherwise, it's just going to scuff it up. Trying to get this in. I'm trying to think, how does this go in this way? And I'm curious if this actually does go in. Looks like it does. Now I'm just thinking if she was to hold it. Now just touching this, my fingers are getting incredibly black. Jupiter. Yeah, it's gonna go in like that. I mean, she doesn't, unless I lift that finger or squeeze it in, it's not going to go through all the way. So more or less, it's like that. Yeah, my fingers are super black. So that is everything though. Initial impressions, extremely overpriced for what it is. And I'm going to talk to them about that, especially since they messed up. And there's definitely a lot of QC issues, considering them knowing they're sending it to a YouTuber and you know how much this costs. It's $3,400. That is like Queen Studios Spider-Man, which is going to be superior silicone, hand punched hair, all polystone body, far better QC than this one-off. Granted, this is the only Black Widow out there. I also need to check on those silver lines if, you know, the movie had that, because I don't know why they decided to just stop painting that silver instead of having it black. It's kind of hard to see because the arms block her chest area. But let's get her up high, fix her hair, and, you know, dive deeper into this. Alrighty, folks, so let's check out Black Widow from the movie. So as you can see, she does have some, I mean, it varies also on the scene, the poster, but she has some, you know, bangs more or less there. Her hair, like I said, you have the two in the front and then that one, and it comes down, you know, right below the boobie. And, I mean, as far as this picture, I mean, it's always different in person, but there's two gray noticeable things, and that's kind of it, as far as you can tell. It's also a lighter black. It's not, it's almost grayish. And as I told you, that is the shape of it. You know, it comes up almost like it kind of reminds me of a piano thing. And it's just, you know, and then it's not the entire arm though. And her, you know, Scarlett Johansson's face has changed over the years. You know, she's obviously gone through some surgery. She looked different in this movie, definitely past her prime, in my opinion. She looked better in Don John, Black, you know, Avengers 1. She's still Babe, don't get me wrong. But she definitely looked different in this movie. Like, she had a lot of eye bags and more wrinkles, because I think she was like 33, 34 in this movie versus like 25 at Avengers. So, yeah, there's the Black Widow. And then here she is in the collection. Here's like a quick size reference. So she's definitely a smaller bust. Like I said, she feels kind of like KD Vegeta bust. Like, she's a small bust. I mean, is this really the size of Scarlett in real life? I mean, the thing is, I'm so big, everything feels small. But she's definitely quite a bit smaller than my wife, who is 5'2". This silicone's a very, like, sticky silicone. Similar to, like, Queen Studios original. You know, and it kind of feels like they 3D printed it and just inserted the silicone. Like I said, though, this should be gray all the way down right here and here. And I don't even think that should be gray. So they definitely fucked up on the paint app in accuracy. Like I said, it really leads me to believe that they didn't even look at photos. They got this wrong. They got the gray wrong. There's definitely, like, what's this red right here on the gun? Is that supposed to be there? Like I said, this thing, you touch it and it turns your hand black. I don't know why it's doing that. The arms look decent. This would look so much better if it was accurate and, you know, like, not cheaply 3D printed, if I'll say. You know, like, they cast this in resin, made it a little bit bigger. They fixed the inaccuracies. I think the pose is okay. You know, she's loading her gun, okay. It's not bad. This should have been silicone fingers. They should have used a higher quality silicone. They should have did a better job on the earrings. They just put 4 earrings. She had, like, you know, I'll show you this next to the Queen Stews, but she had a lot of earrings in that particular ear. And for some reason, the cunts decided to put earrings there. And so I'm going to probably just try to do the hair to cover it, I suppose. If I could cover it, or still, I'm definitely going to talk to them about this, because I did not tell them to do that, so I'm disappointed they did that. They do have her mold there. The silicone, it's definitely not as high quality as like Queen or Infinity Studios. The glass eyes are definitely not very good. They lack any type of red little veins. The actual eye, like the iris, looks good, but there's no little red veins at all. The eyebrows and eyelashes are okay, not as clean as any of my Infinity Studio girl bus. So when Bruce told me that his stuff is as good as Queen Studios or Infinity Studios, I just call bullshit. And so I'm going to put the hair to cover the fact that they fucked up on that paint app. So I think the sculpt is there. I think I do see Scarlet, and from a distance you can't tell it's 3D printed, like I can't tell from this distance. I think the hands are a little bit better than Infinity Harley. Like, Infinity Harley is just garbage. Like, that hand is so bad. It lacks any and all possible detail. Sounds like it's raining. Goodness. Definitely not a space hog. You know, it's a manageable bus. I haven't checked it out down low. I think the hair color is good. You know, they got that right. I like the lip color. The skin texture is weird. Like, she has lots of almost like dimples, and it's not your typical silicone, like, you know, skin. And the hand punched hair also looks a little bit weird. I want to see how it looks in the Marvel display. Let's move it. Alrighty, so here she is. Yeah, like I said, she looks incredibly small. Definitely a small bust. Although, I think she will look good next to Black Panther and Vision, because they're also small busts. Where Doctor Strange is just massive, but like, look at the size of the head differences. You know, and then you got Hulk. Yeah, like my plan's to put her right there. Let's showcase her next to Queen Studios Black Widow. Alrighty, so here they are. Now, I just want to compare like some of the details between the two. No, like I said, Queen has that silver line, and they don't have one like right there that this one decided to do, which is just like weird. It has texture right there, similar to this one. It has almost like a Mera type costume texture, and then texture right there, same texture. This has almost like a buckle attaching this to that. That is missing the buckle attaching this to that. They got her gauntlets right. That's how they should look, just like that. Or that, I don't know what the fuck that is. And notice one ear, no earrings. This ear, shit ton of little earrings. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 earrings. And I got 4 in each ear. All the same earrings. Well, too thick, too small. Now, Queen's likeness looks more like her from the Black Widow movie. This looks more like her from like maybe Civil War or Avengers 2-ish. Like definitely younger. Like they don't, she doesn't have any eye bags. Like maybe a tiny, tiny bit. But in the movie, they were very apparent, especially at the beginning. Check out her hair on this one. She has, you know, and they made her hair quite long on this one. So I'd say in terms of length, they're actually probably good. I think they actually do pair pretty good. I should have had them take more photos for me because it's kind of hard to tell that they didn't. I mean, I don't know, maybe, yeah, this, I mean, when you look at how big that is versus how thin they made it here, I kind of understand why they did it, because it does look like 2, but quite big. But in reality, it should be that one, not that silver. That should be black. The base is, like, the concept is pretty good. You have the Black Widow with the Black Widow logo and a bunch of bullets kind of surrounding everything, which does look good. I mean, I think the 3D render in general is pretty good. I think Bruce's team just did a bad job in general on the paint. You know, like, look at that QC issue on that. This should have been redesigned just like that. And I feel like they didn't even look at the movie. I mean, the thing is, this still is the best Black Widow bust in the market, because Queen isn't making one. I absolutely love Scarlett Johansson. You know, always had a huge crush on her. So this is still the best option we have, even if it's, you know, when you compare these two, that is worth the money. This is not worth the money at all. This, to me, feels like a $1,500 bust. Based off everything I'm seeing right now, yeah, Bruce definitely overcharged massively for this. With the amount of inaccuracies, the weird texture in the paint, the cheap glass eyes, the putting earrings in the wrong ear, this is a $1,500 bust. I would not pay $3,400 for this if I was you. So I do not recommend them. And based off failing on this, I would not recommend Inner Studios. They, you know, I gave them one chance to impress me. They know who I am. They failed me. So I would not recommend Inner Studios. Definitely don't buy anything that they make. Only buy stuff like that they provide. I also got Captain America coming from them. You know, the Queen Studios one. But I would not buy another Inner Studio product based off what I'm seeing. Unless they lower the price drastically. You know, because the cost to 3D print all that might have been $50. Silicone portrait, I don't know how much silicone and hiring someone to do hand-punched hair, but I don't think that's entirely hand-punched. I bet some of it's a wig. But I'm assuming that portrait cost $1,000. Paying someone to assemble and paint everything, let's just call it another $500. I mean, like I said, it's about a $1,500 bust. They're definitely massively overcharging. You know, there's many things I would have to do to fix this. Like to get it perfect. Like I said, one, I would need to paint that silver, paint that black. Ideally, I would love to completely remove this, but it's like attached to it, and then install accurate ones. Get rid of those earrings and fix those earrings, and frankly replace those eyeballs with ones that actually have little black veins, or little red veins. You know, like you look at the Doctor Strange. You see them right there? Look how clean his eyelashes are as well. You know, like how perfectly aligned they are in the eyebrows. Now check out this one. Those eyebrows look like a mess. And I see zero red veins. The actual eyebrows are okay. The eyelashes are poorly done. They're kind of just like everywhere. They're not finely inserted. All right, let's go ahead and put her down there and see how she looks. Alrighty, so here's Black Widow in the display. Now, fortunately, she does look good down low. Like, I can still see her perfectly fine. I can't see the earrings in the right ear. And she is next to her 1/4. Now, granted, all three of them are next to their 1/4. You got Black Panther, Vision, Black Widow. Yeah, so there she is. Like I said, she fits in good with these three because they are similar sized. You know, and then next to the Iron Man and Pepper, and you know, those two are big. Plus, they're, you know, a human and a machine, so it makes sense. Yeah, she's overall, you know, like, I'd probably rate this based off the price, a 5 out of 10. If this was priced $1,500, I'd put it an 8.5 out of 10. But, you know, I'm going to talk to them because they did earrings without my authorization, poking ears in something that's non-repairable. So I'm going to seek out some compensation, and the fact that they fucked up on the paint job in multiple areas. So I'm definitely going to seek out compensation. But like I said, this is a 5 out of 10 bust. Do I regret it? Yes and no. I still do like it. Like, the face is the only thing I truly like. You know, I think the face is pretty good. It does look like Scarlett. I know a lot of you don't think it does look like her, but I do think it does. You know, I think the likeness is as good as her, but these two are extremely better, like, well done. You know, like look at the eyeballs, the skin texture. You know, it's like super finely done, like extremely well done. Even if the likeness is a little off, it's extremely well done. You know, like these are definitely leagues better than that Black Widow in terms of, you know, the finer hyper end detail. In general, I would say Queen Studios is overall a more detailed piece, outside the fact it's, you know, not silicone and glass eyes and real hair, but this is more detailed and more accurate. But I have always wanted a Black Widow bust. I previously had the 1:1, it's like a 1 to 1.5 half scale, like a half scale basically. And it had great likeness. It had a good paint app, granted no glass eyes, but it was just so freaking small. It was so tiny. It drove me crazy. And it didn't scale with anything. So I would say this is better than that. And I sold that thing for like $1,000 or something like that. Yet I bought it for like $600. But yeah, here is the Black Widow by Inner Studios. I do not recommend it, and so I doubt there will be any more made. There's one other person getting it. I know they're in the US. Theirs has the longer hair, which, in my opinion, I think this hair is better, especially for this costume. But yeah, I'm definitely going to reach out to Bruce and seek some compensation because I think some is owed. You know, they didn't take enough photos and advise me, hey, we also put earrings in the right ear. I said, look at this picture, copy this. Left ear. So that pisses me off they didn't do that. But yeah, this can't touch a candle to infinity or Queen. I'm sorry. Can't touch a candle. So, but I still do, you know, like it in my display. You know, because I love Black Widow. I think she does overall look good in the display. It's not like she stands out as, the fuck is that doing there? So next will be Captain America bust. He should be arriving second week of July. And Thor bust will be quite a whiles away. So it's going to be a while before we get Thor. What I may do is just put Captain just there and Doctor Strange there so the display looks complete until we get Thor. But hopefully, you know, Queen actually shipped Captain much quicker than anticipated. So it's possible they could ship Thor quicker than anticipated. So hopefully that is the case, because then I could complete my Ultimate Marvel bust wall. Pending if we ever get a Hawkeye. Because if we get a Hawkeye, I would definitely buy it, pair it with Widow over there, and put Spidey there. You know, because that would be the best ultimate companion for the Black Widow. You know, Hawkeye. Then I have the entire OG team. Anyways, folks, let me know what you think of Black Widow. I'm sure there's going to be a shit ton of comments out there talking trash on this piece. But, you know, it is what it is. They can't all be winners, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.